Let me do this. As I was saying, let me extend the greatest salutations ever for your accomplishments for this year. You know, this morning when I woke up, actually last night, it was about 8 o'clock. They started popping fireworks. And see, here in Hawaii, it's customary whenever there's a celebration, they do fireworks big. So every weekend, somebody firing something off. But last night, it was like a darn war zone till like at least 3 o'clock. And, you know, I was like 8:30, I'm going to go to sleep. If I wake up, great. If I don't, all right. As long as I wake up, right? So I woke up this morning at 7:30. I took the moment to make my coffee. You know, I got my coffee. Cheers. And as I always do, I give thanks. I already started manifesting the things I wanted to accomplish, as well as the things I want to bring culmination to. And I had an epiphany because you've heard the adage all the time. Even Marvel's Spider-Man, Spider-Man's mantra is, "With great responsibility, so with greatness comes with great responsibility," and it's true. You got the kids and neighbors there; they're out playing with their toys and stuff. But don't let that distract you. And I thought about it. And I said, you know, I got I got to get the vehicle ready. And the rules and regulations here are very strict. And because of COVID, getting appointments, it's like a needle in a haystack. So um, I've got to be strategic on how I'm going to accomplish it. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, the state of Hawaii is financially strapped. So any way they can benefit monetarily for the government, they're going to use it. And being, you know, from the mainland is what they call you. You just got to pay to play. So I was frustrated yesterday. So yesterday when I put that video out, I had a little bit of agitation in my spirit because I realized that if it's not important to you, you allow fear to distract you, and distractions are nothing but the playground for procrastination. And I was highly disappointed with myself because I've been here almost 4.5, 5 months, and I could have knocked that out a long time ago, and I didn't. I waited till the 13th hour. So now I got to scramble and get everything legit. But thank goodness, you know, my my better half is here, so I ain't got to worry about uh, the logistics per se. God's got you covered. But when I woke up this morning, I had a flood of ideas of things that I know I'm waiting to embrace, but I was afraid to step out there. And it seems like as I mature, those things that I would be oblivious to or just downright wouldn't care, gotta call it what it is, it started to bother me. And it started to feed into my depression. And for those who've been following me for a long time, you know, I told you in the beginning of my story, you know, almost a quarter of my life I suffered from depression. Fast forward, I served my country well, the best of my ability, and all I did was compartmentalize unresolved issues. That's why you know it as post traumatic stress disorder. And it started to show. I mean, look at this. You know, these grays, these bags under my eyes. Well, these bags are earned from tears because the one thing that I learned that was a hard pill to swallow is you have no control of what someone says or reacts. You only have control of how you react and what you convey. And when you're taught through behavior to compartmentalize, all that is laying layers and layers and layers on your emotional psyche. And unless you address it, you're setting yourself up with what I call for the clip or the fall. It's just a matter of time, a house of cards. So when I woke up this morning, after giving threats, giving thanks, I want to say giving threats, giving thanks to being able to first be conscious to wake up, to be appreciative of where my feet are, because it doesn't matter if I was in Tupelo, Mississippi, or New York City, or Europe. It doesn't matter. The fact that you are present. I realized that everything that you need is found within yourself. And this is something I've always echoed to you. But, you know, like the Migos had the classic walk it like I talk it. It's easier said than done. It's easier to fake it to make it. And unfortunately, socially, that narrative has been a key element for some people to use as a tool. But eventually, when it comes to authenticity, eventually, when it comes to checks and balance, eventually, when it comes to self assessment, you got to see it for what it is. So here's my point. Family, I am so excited for the things that God is going to make possible for me, because He is going to afford me the opportunity to share with you. I know y'all like, when you gonna do it, Drew? What you waiting on? Well, I don't like giving excuses, but I will tell you this. I respect my health, and COVID is real. I ain't got to tell you that. And the days of being Superman or bulletproof, they come with a price. Now, I'm going to still be an advocate when it comes to self-preservation, when it comes to your health. Now, not to be on a banter, eventually you're going to have to make a decision on how you're going to proceed in regards to taking the vaccine. Now, do your research, but the best offense is having a strong defense. And what I mean by that is there are things that you can do that if and when you decide to make that decision, you got the deck stacked. That's why I'm going to always convey, take care of your health. If you're not drinking water, start. If you're not eating correctly, start. if you're not taking your vitamins. I'm not talking about them children chewables. I'm talking about A, B, C, D, zinc, iron, copper, magnesium. You're going to need that for your immune system. You're going to need that. The days of just brushing your shoulders off and saying, I'll be all right. Nah, that ain't going to fly. Now, at the end of the day, family, no one knows the time and the moment they're going to take their last breath. That's just what it is. But it is your responsibility to delay it. So I'm excited because I know my gift for you, by way of my actions, I have to make sure that my health is paramount. Speaking of health, I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. I'm taking my prescriptions. Now, listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, I am not for man-made options, but I am not a physician, and I like living. So I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make sure that I'm firing on all cylinders. Third, I kind of mentioned, and I was trying to be in a tangent, but here's the truth. Other than your physical being, your mental being is paramount. Now, some people that have found a way to have access to your life gonna feel a certain kind of way, and they rightfully should, because 2021, the spotlight's gonna be on you, and that spotlight is gonna shed light on things that you may have not been privy to, things that you may have overlooked, and things that have been hindering your direction. Yes, we make social memes about financial literacy. That is important. But how can you have financial literacy when you don't have mental health? That's just like having a brand new tire with no air in it. Who am I talking to? Now, here's going to be the biggest challenge for a lot of you. You know how I always say, sidestep the negative? But I also say, sometimes you got to get out of their way so that you can claim your own. That is going to be the hardest challenge for a lot of you, because this year is going to be about being authentic to yourself. What do you need? You know how I always say, do you know who you are? Well, until you decide to explore that statement, how can you truly understand where you're going, where you need to be, what you rightfully are entitled to? Because, see, the people that genuinely, unfortunately, will be revealed, that's going to be a slow day for them. And they're going to feel a certain kind of way, because you're going to see it in their disposition. You're going to hear it in their responses. You're going to see it in their body. Listen, I used to always say to people that I didn't understand or had a conflict with, I'm like, tell on yourself. Because the truth will always come to the light. But you have to be strong enough to acknowledge what you see. If you're constantly seeing the same repetitions, the same reaction, that's the truth. Sometimes it's not going to come with a nice bow on it. Sometimes it may come unexpected, like a car wreck. But just know, no matter what that outcome is, it has to happen so that what is on the other side is known, but it's claimed. Now, here's the sad thing about it. Sad thing is, a lot of y'all know that, but y'all won't do it. And a lot of y'all have gotten comfortable in your environment because you're afraid that if you decide to do the work for you, it's going to tip the apple cart, so to speak. So, for those folks, you can't run until you decide to stand. And you can't stand until you decide to check your foundation. But if your foundation does not support you, what's holding you back? So, I love each and every one of you. I'm excited for your accomplishments. I'm excited because many of you are going to finally say, damn it, I deserve to love me. Congratulations. This is a long time coming. And for every person that you had to scratch your head, wipe your eye, console yourself because there was a reaction to the action, don't worry about them because they're not worrying about you. And it was hoping that this day would never come because it's benefiting them. And you know what? And I leave this alone too because someone said something profound, and I try to give credit where credit was due. I saw a little video on Instagram, and this young lady was in a car, and somebody had the camera outside. She pulls up, and she rolls the window down, or the window was down. She says, "Closure is what someone seeks after the action has already been done." But the action was your closure. You haven't come to terms with. So, when she said that, it made me think. I look back in my life, and I'm like, all the choices that I made, all the energy that I willfully gave. Now, at the end of the day, God's got you. He got you. It's not wasted. Never. But if they're showing you who they are, like Maya Angelou, the late Maya Angelou said, believe them. You're not crazy. You never was. But it's crazy for you not to love you more. So, that was for somebody, because somebody woke up this morning feeling less than. They started seeing things before the holiday seasons that was a pattern that had been playing out early in the year. People play Houdini. Now you see him, now you don't. All of a sudden, people want to pop in your life. They want to tune into what you're doing, knowing. You know why they do that? Because they knew who you were from the first hello, and they have not taken the time to be forthright and accountable for their actions. I just want to make sure it's all good. It's not good. Because if it was good, you wouldn't have done what you did. But you forgive them. And forgiveness, this is for somebody. Forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. Let go. Let God. Keep moving forward. Check off your goals and watch what God will show you. Now, here's the sad thing. As I always say, not everybody is going to afford the option to know your story. But the chosen few will also embrace it because they're going to be living that example and they're going to truly know what your name's about. Why? Because like attracts like. Don't let them fool you. Say opposites attract. Nah. Nah, that's an excuse. That's just another way to justify what y'all got to talk about. They didn't show you what they were about. They didn't show you what they lack. And lack plus lack equals lack. That's why people come into your life for a reason, a season. But no matter what, at the end, it's still a blessing because it's you. So, Happy New Year. This time, I hope you're well. And I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. And if somebody you know might need to hear this, by all means, share it. Each one teach one, right? God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. Let me tell you what. Big changes this year. And what's sad, there are going to be countless people saying, you know what? If I only knew. You shouldn't say, if I only knew if you appreciated what you had. Love yourself more. You're worth it. Be blessed. Happy New Year.